In this video, we are continuing with our 4-week journal journey where we do one journal a week, and we are working on our mermaid journal this week. And greetings and salutations. My name is Tish, and welcome to the Artist Haven. I went ahead and did the blue on the one side because I wanted to make sure that the heavy body acrylic was going to do what I wanted it to do, and it did for the most part. And it's nice and matte. It's a little shiny, but when we sand it down, that'll go away. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to show you how I did it on this side, because this side is dry and this side hopefully is dry. Dry to the touch anyway. There we go. And I apologize for any sniffles or coughs. My allergies have been really bad this morning, and so I'm talking kind of funny because I feel all stuffed up. So let's get this going. Let's grab the brush, and then once we get the front and back done, because this is going to be the back of our journal, but the outside back, and this is the outside front, and then these are going to be on the insides. I want to put crackle, medium crackle glaze on it, and have the crackle be on the outside for sure. I only have a little bit left, so we might just do the crackle on the outside, just because I only have a little bit left. All right, dry off that mostly. Got our water bottle here. We'll give this a stir. It's only been sitting for about 25 minutes, so it shouldn't be too bad. And as it sat last night, because we mixed this up yesterday, and as it sat, it became a better consistency, so I'm happy. All right, let's move this out of the way. Bring this a little closer. And I'm going to spray this off to the side so I don't get my whole desk wet. And technically there were only 3 sprays that actually happened. The first one was like, no, I don't want to. I want to come in and get my edge and get the rest of this paint off of here. There we go. Set that right there. I'll just blend this out. So we're just going to sweep it across. There's no paint. There was no paint on my brush. It was just damp because I had it in the water. There we go. We're going to take a little bit of paint, wipe off most of it. So it's not truly a dry brush, but it's got the same kind of technique and feel. And I want to make sure I get all my edges. And this is why the chip brush is so great for this, because the chip brush has kind of a staggered edge. Okay, again, a little bit more. If you're using a full teaspoon on this project of each color, you're using too much. So I'll come in. All right, let's get that edge. There we go. I think that's good. And then what we're going to do, we're going to spray it again off to the side. There we go. And then we're just going to let it dry. And that's going to give it a kind of a weathered look as it dries, like the other side did. Oh, I got paint on here. It's all right. I'm going to spray this one. I'm going to do that one a little heavier because there's those cracks. And we're just going to hit this like this. Get those paint splatters blended out really quick. And if they stay or if they stick around, I'm okay with that. All right, now wipe off most of it. I'll come in and get the edges. And if you don't like getting paint on your fingers, wear gloves. I personally don't mind it. I'm washable. If you're working with resin though, or some other medium that requires harsh chemicals, I wear gloves. Like paint stripper and stuff like that. Yeah, I wear gloves for that. I pick my battles. And I'm going to come in here. And get these grooves and then brush it out. And I'm going to spray this again because we're getting a little dry and I don't want it to get dry. Okay, you can see we have a lot of paint on here and we're gonna fix that. I'm just gonna come around and tap the edges so we don't have any drips. And then set the paintbrush down and I come in with a rag and we're just gonna blot it off. There we go. Now we can come in with the blue again and make it the way we want it. Again, I'm going to spray this because it's getting dry. Take my brush and just come in and give it some lines right here and right here. And I'm getting just the tips wet on the brush. Try to get some lines in there. There we go. There we go. And we're going to dampen this. We're going to let that dry. Now, put the brush in there. I'm going to put our little dirty stir sticks in there. Cover this up. I want to set this over on the other table so it can dry. We'll come back to it. And in a little bit, and if it's not completely dry, we will hit it with the hair dryer, and then we're going to hit it. We're going to take a little bit of this, or a little bit of this, and mix it with this. And this is the crackled glaze. And then this is, I have another crackle medium that I might try. I don't know. There's not much of this. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll just put it on straight and then come back with it with the metallic. I don't know. I want to use the metallic on the mermaid for sure. So maybe we'll just come in with the crackle glaze, hit them, and not get the, because I have this stuff. Not get the mermaid with it. Where'd it go? This is crackle paste. And it's brand new. It's never been opened. So I've never used it. I bought it a while back. I think maybe we will use this on the boards themselves. This is golden crackle paste. We'll use this on the boards themselves, and then use the other crackle glaze on the mermaid. So we get kind of two different crackles. That'll leave some visual interest. All right, let me scrub up my hands real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit more rubbing alcohol on my hands. And this is how I keep the lotion companies in business. There we go. Okay, let's put this back in its spot. Go in. Whatever. All right. Sweep this off. I was using embossing powder earlier today. So there's all kinds of little, you know how embossing powder goes everywhere? Yeah, that's the thing. All right, let's see what we got here. Here's our tags that we're gonna make today. I thought this might look cool on the cover. Here's some little bits that we have left over. Here's our pages. Here's some tissue paper I thought might look cool. Here's the little bits that we have left over. And this I found in the scrap bin. Thought it might look cool. Put this over here, like so. And then this is the, this is sari silk or chiffon. I think it's chiffon. It feels like chiffon because it's got that. It's not as soft as sari silk. So, but we did this when we did the alcohol ink pages for our pages. Okay, so that's my little bin that I've been keeping everything in. It's a Rubbermaid container that doesn't have a lid anymore. Because I don't know about you, but lids are like socks. You put them in the dishwasher and they disappear. All right, that's our template that we can do something fun with. And then here are our pages so far. And I thought we could come in and get an order. The other thing we need to think about is we want to put spacers between the pages. So if we put pockets or ephemera or on something on them, they have a little spacer. So this is what we got so far. Let's lay them out and let's figure out what we're going to do to each one of these little pages. I think this one we're going to leave pretty much by the way it is. This one we need to do something with because it's a little bit bland. We'll probably just ink this one, although it'd be kind of cool to decoupage that tissue paper on the back of one of these. So we've got, let's kind of sort them out here. That's double-sided plain. This is single-sided. This is single-sided if I remember correctly. And then these are all double-sided. This one's plain. So I think we'll just take some brown ink and attack these double-sided ones. The other thing I was thinking is we could take, because here's our pocket that we have. Yeah, so let's grab this. So we have this little pocket here. I thought maybe we could do the same thing with a couple of the single-sided ones. Because you're not going to be flipping the pages. We're going to be turning them out. So yeah, let's put that there. So we need to make a tag for that. And then these ones are double-sided art pages. We're going to leave those alone. We might come in with some black ink just to make the edges pop. Let's hit this with the brown ink real quick, and then we'll have these 3 pages out of the way. We can put them in, well, let's hit this with the black, hit this with the brown, and then we'll have 6 pages out of the way. Because divide and conquer, right? All right, I'm grabbing my black, and then I'm grabbing, this is Jet Black by Archival, or by Ranger. It's Archival ink. And there we go. And I'm just going to hit the edge. I'm not rounding corners on any of these yet. I thought it might be a good idea to get them all stacked up and then do angled edges on them. I don't know. We'll see how it lays out. I don't even know if this is going to work. But we're going to try, right? Because you don't know till you try. All right, that way. That page is done. So have you ever made a journal that has a lot of functioning bits, but you're not quite sure that all the functioning bits are going to function. Because that's kind of where I'm at right now. Not sure if all the functioning bits are going to function. And I'm just using black on these just because I don't want to change the color of any of the colors. I just want to frame it. It's not about grunging it up or anything. It's just about making the page pop or separate itself from the page behind it. That's so sparkly. It's like shiny because of alcohol ink and then shiny because of the pearl that we put on it. And if you're just starting to watch these live streams, I have a whole playlist down in the description that is for these, that'll be for these journals that we make each week. And each thumbnail will have the journal that we're working on. And I try to go keep these under 2 hours. All right, this one we're going to put up here because it's Yupo paper, so we want it to dry before we let it touch anything else. Okay. Excuse my sniffles. I'm going to actually get a drink of water before we hit these ones. And I want to kind of think, how do we want to do this? If you have any suggestions, let me know in the chat. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm just going to do these with brown. Making a mental note, so if I do make any changes, I know what color I used on them. This is Coffee by Ranger Archival. So it's not like vintage photo brown, and it's not quite espresso either. It's a lighter shade of brown, which I really enjoy because then it blends in well. And it just, let me see if I can show you the difference. So you can see how that just kind of lays there, but this kind of pops out, and that's what I want. I want the edges to kind of pop out. Put that back. Go back. There we go. So I'm just tapping the edge basically. Well, this one didn't cut very well. That's okay. We can leave it a little ragged. I didn't decal cut for this project, which is a miracle. I love my decal cutter. In fact, I've been thinking about how I want to make my business cards, because that's the one thing I need to put in my journals with the pricing card. I got them all designed. I just want to figure out how to cut them out. That'll make them stand out, but not like obscenely. Excuse me. Goodness, hiccups, hiccups, hiccups. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go through these. So how many do we have left? I think what we'll do, God bless America. Cool, cool, cool. So let's put these two together. I want this on the back of something. Let's put this on the back of this one. Let's put these together and make a pocket like this without, because we have a pocket here, we have a pocket here, and then there's a pocket on the back side too. So let's do these two together and these two together. And that leaves us with 4. What if we put these two together? Like that. And then these two together. Like that. Okay. We'll have just a whole bunch of pockets. That'd be really kind of cool, huh? I think so anyway. And then we'll put these two together. That leaves us with just 1. Oh, wait a minute. What's on this side? This is, yeah. Let's put these two together. No, that's too plain. That's too boring. Let's leave this over here and we'll figure out what to do with him later. So let's take out some notches out of these. So I'm going to bring out my oval cutter because I use an oval cutter for my notches. And I have little lines drawn. Oh, where do you come from? There you go. Give me one moment. Okay, sorry about that. And we'll put this notch right about there. And then we'll take the blue ink. I need a page. What did I do with that tray that has all my pages on it? There it is. No, that's not it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Here it is. You ever argue with yourself? Mother of pearl. Okay. Whatever, dude. I pulled one page out. They all fall out. All right. So let's lay these up here like this so we know what we're doing. And then we're going to take the back side of this page. We're going to take the blue ink and we're just going to bring in some color here. So on the back side of the pocket, it's not just white. So I'm going to bring blue. I'm going to do the same thing here. Let's turn that that way. There we go. There's blue, and the purple is right here. I was pricing journals last night, and I used 3 stamps in my journals to kind of give a signature. And that should be good. And I'm not worried about the circles because they're going to be on the inside. Let's move these lids. we're going to use blue again. Put this over here. And I'm going to take my rubbing alcohol and I'm just going to mist it once so we don't warp the paper, but we blend the ink. Okay, 1.5. That one was just one. Oop, half one. Okay, let that dry. Whew. Let me get a drink of water because I just took a deep breath of rubbing alcohol. Okay, now we'll just take some art glitter glue here. And we're going to glue this top piece like that. And then, oopa, turn it this way. I'm going to do a line just across the bottom and across the side here. Now I'm going to lay this down, flip this over, match up our corner. There we go. Now we'll take the brayer out and we'll flatten these out. There's a little bit of glue right there. Must have got some on my finger. There we go. Okay. There's another pocket. So we got 3 on this side. Should we keep them all on the... Yeah, because we've got 3 pockets. There's 3, 4, 5. And then there's 6 pages here. So, wait, yeah, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let's do this on here. Oh, excuse me. Do one kind of in the middle. And then do a little black ink. The dauber's falling apart. So it makes, I actually kind of like when the daubers fall apart, because they fall apart and then it makes a cool pattern. All right, let's spray this with rubbing alcohol and let it dry. There we go. Then it does this cool thing where it makes like little cells. So let this dry for a moment. I'm going to get a drink of water. Okay, now it should be dry. And I'm trying to see if there's a texture. Yep, this is the back side. So put a line here. And a line here and here. There we go. Flip this over. Stand this up. And then smoosh it down. Get the excess glue off real quick. Sides are lined up. Brayer it down. I'll come back in and trim any overhang. There we go. And we're going to ink the edges with this with black ink. Oh, there's a little bit there. That's okay. There we go. And that one, oh, 2 more. And yeah, let's put this on this side. So come back down to the bottom. There we go. do this in black and this one in blue. Try and get the edges real quick. There we go. We'll come back and get it better, but right now, just going to kind of come in with the black, which is probably going to turn more gray. Okay. Let's do a little bit of blue. Let's grab the darker green, or the, where'd it go? There it is. Kind of smooch in some green here. There we go. And the purple. I'm going to do the edge in black. Oops. Helps to do the right edge, Tish. That's all right. All right, rubbing alcohol. On that one and on this one. There we go. Let that dry. So we've got one in the middle, one top, two towards the top, one at the bottom. Let's do this one towards the middle. There we go. This is going to be the outside. I'm going to ink this in blue. Yeah, maybe. There we go. And now we're going to do this in blue. just some black. Okay, glue those two down. Actually, I need to spray this one. Okay, I can dry over there. Let's get these two glued down. I'm so excited for this. It's gonna look so cool when we get it done. All right, so this goes this way, that goes there. We waited too long. There we go. Maybe. Where's my pen? There we go. There we go. So we're going to glue down the top of the tag and then just the edge here like so. And I'll flip this over, lay it down lightly, pick both of them up, get them straight on the bottom, and then gently just press it down. Make sure the sides are good. And then we're going to take the brayer and brayer it flat. And we got a little bit of extra glue, so we'll take that off. And we're going to trim this. There we go. I'm not going to worry about, there's a little bit of white there. We're going to ink this anyway, so not worried about that. Okay. Ink this with black. Just to get the little tiny, I don't even want to try and cut it with the scissors because I'll just make it worse. I know me. So let's come in with some ink and cover up the little white lines that we might see. There we go. See, now when you open the pocket, you see some color behind that. That's why I do the inside of the pocket like that. All right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 pages. So let's glue this down. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Set that on there. Make sure the sides and the bottom are straight. And then hold this and brayer this down. I got glue all over it. That doesn't surprise me. I get glue everywhere. All right. Let's get the excess glue wiped off. And that's the last one, so we can get rid of this guy for a minute. Plus he's full of glue. Just make sure. Now I'm going to take and cut that little, there's a little white piece there. I'm going to cut that off. And then we're going to ink around with black. Just the edges. Because we already inked this card with blue, so I don't want to take away that blue. I just want to blend where there might be white. All right, there we go. Now we've made all our pockets. You know what, one of the things we could do. Now these are our master boards that we made the other day. And they're a little straighter. I'm wondering. Yeah, let's do that. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Okay, so we got 2 middle pockets, 2 bottom pockets, 2 top pockets. And then we've got our pages. So we're going to take this and we're going to clip them together gently. Gently. Cut this bottom edge off. There we go. And then this is 4 1/4. So let's do 4 1/4, which this is almost exactly 4 1/4. It was this much off. There we go. Now we can take, and I think what we'll do actually is I'm going to line this up. And we're going to trace this out. I'm going to use a Sharpie because this is glossy cardstock. And we're going to trace that onto there. So we got an idea. And then we're going to make a pocket, but make it a little different. There we go. Then that, well, we did on the wrong side. Let's cut this edge off. It's all good. I want it to be on this edge. Yeah. So all right, let's cut our notch. And let's do our notch right here. There we go. And I think I just dropped the brown. Of course I dropped the brown. Because that's the one I want. go all the way around because we can. There we go. And I'm going to curve this corner, round it. Why? Because I can. There we go. That corner back. Okay, now we know. I'll take this little binder clip. Binder clip it in place. Excuse my sniffles. There we go. Why is that not? Hang on. We cut it a little bit too short, but that's okay. It'll still work for what we want to do. Take the pencil, draw a line, draw a line. And just so we get this part straight for sure, we're going to bring it over here and get that piece. Excuse me, hiccups. And then, you know, we'll wait to cut that off until we glue it down. Okay, let's see. This is the side we want. Okay, this is going to go here. So let's round this corner too. Not sure if you're actually going to see it, but you might. So always err on the side of caution, right? All right, so let's put our glue down here. And then we'll glue here. We can always come back and add more glue if we need to. Okay, I need some kind of paper right here. There we go. Okay. There we go. Excuse me. And we are going to need a little bit more glue right here. There we go. Okay. Now let's cut this. Well, that wasn't very straight now, was it? That's okay. no one's ever going to notice, because no one ever is going to see it, because it's going to be tucked behind something. So let's just ink that up, hide our little misgivings. There we go. That looks cool. And then this is our template. We could turn this into a card too. What if we take this tissue paper and lay it down? And then that side could be a journal side. I just got glue on it. It's okay. Let's move our cutter though. Okay, and I'm going to leave this here. I'm not going to worry about it. But one thing I am going to do is I'm going to go around with brown oxide, or ink if you have ink. Let's do gathered twigs. It's kind of a brown, it's dark. Brown. All right, so let's, because then when we put the glue down, it'll give it kind of streaks of brown. Okay, we're going to give that a moment to dry. And then what we'll do is we're just going to put glue stick down. I'm going to lay this on, lay the tissue paper on top of it. I'm actually going to rip this down a little bit. This was made on the jelly plate a long, long time ago in a state far, far away. Kind of smooth that out. And see, we'll have something like this where it shows through, but still has punches of color. So it's going to look kind of like that. I'm going to do it like right there. Like that. But I want the ink to dry a little bit longer. And we might do a belly band. Just take this and make it into a belly band right across the top. That would be cool. Okay. And we'll leave the back side for like a journaling spot or something like that. Let me get a drink of water real quick. Okay, this should be dry now. We're going to take the mono stick and actually, where's my glue mat? Here it is. He's hanging up where he needs to be. Move that over, lay him down, put that over there. That right there, because we're going to use that glue stick. And we're just going to coat the living snot out of this. And if we miss a spot, it's okay. I love the smell of this glue stick. It smells like, I don't know, flowers. It smells like perfume. But it works really well too. And you can get these glue sticks at the Painted Raven. There is a link down in the description and a discount code too, because she's my friend and I said I want to give my YouTube friends a deal. All right, so we're going to take rag. What is it? Inky Binky. That's what Tim Holtz calls it. I'm like, that's just like the cutest thing ever. We're just going to kind of burnish this down. And if it rips, it rips. We're not going to worry about it. But we're doing it gently. We're not doing it really hard. Because you will rip it. See, I just ripped it right here. But I'm just going to kind of smooth it back a little bit so there's not really a bump. Or if there's a bump, you just take your finger and kind of rub it out. There we go. Because we can hit it with some sandpaper. Let's grab these. There we go. And that kind of shows through. That's kind of cool, actually. Happy accident. I'm channeling Bob Ross today. There we go. Let's get up here. Okay. We're going to let that dry. But before we do, we're going to take a little bit of, I need, come on. We're actually just going to do it this way. This is rubbing alcohol, so it'll dry quickly. But this way, we can tear off the paper. Maybe. It's not working. There we go. I'm like, it's not working the way it's supposed to. I think it's because I'm putting too much down. And it's like, I don't know what to do. What do you want me to do? Okay. I used to have another one that had water in it, but I don't know what happened to it. It got lost in the shuffle. But the rubbing alcohol dries really quickly. That's why I like it better than water. And it does the same thing, or a similar thing. There we go. Excuse me. I'll fold this up and put it back in the bin just in case we want to put it somewhere else when we're all done. And then we can just take our emery board and get those edges that didn't want to come off. Or the other thing I do is when I'm sharpening my circle punches, I use sandpaper, and so it gives me these circles, and I just Fabric-Tac the circles onto an old inker, and it makes a little sanding pad that you can use to take off these extra little bits. There you go. Still a little wet, the glue is, so it's kind of shifting under my fingers a little bit. There we go. That looks really cool. Now, well, I can't tell if it's stuck to my finger or the paper. Hit the edge of this a little bit. There we go. A little bit more right here. And a little bit more right here. There we go. Remove the glue. Okay. So, come on now. There we go. We'll let this dry and then we'll ink it up. But this was our tissue paper, and that is what that is. So that turned out cool. Now, this is going to be the belly band that is going to go on it. So we're going to cut, well, let's do it here. Let's compromise. So we're going to cut it here. There we go. Let go. And then we'll put that right there. There we go. Okay, so we have that. Let's round the corners on this. Where is, there's Vicini. We're going to do small. You know what? I'm going to run a stitch down this, but we got to wait for this to dry anyway, so I'll do that in a minute. Right now, my chair has my other tags and ephemera on it, because I have my bin that I use. Okay, so that's going to go there. Actually, it's going to go this way, I think. No, I like it better this way. Even though it's upside down, it's okay. All right, now we need to make tags for all our pockets. So these are our pages. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get these kind of organized the way we want them. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tags. Okay, so let's lay these out so we can kind of know what kind of vibe we want for our tags. Let me hang that back up so it's not in my way. Let's get this brush out of my way. We gotta tidy up a bit. Actually, we're gonna use this pin because this pin goes in easier because I can see it better. Oh geez. Maybe. Hang on. I think there's a bunch of glue on it already. So I just run it through my fingernail. It gets most of the glue off, so it's all good. There we go. And that's rubbing alcohol, so we can put that back up there. All right, we are tidy. Tidy, tidy, tidy. Ish. There we go. All right, we're letting that dry. And then putting my dauber away that has the sandpaper on it so I don't accidentally grab that and start going wild. We're going to leave that because that might be useful for something. All right, so let's put, that's so pretty. Let's put that page first. And then that one. And then this one. Give it a rest. And then this one. And that one. And then we'll probably do this one. And this one. Let's do the gray. And then that one. We'll do the Starry Night one. And then this one, and then we can slip this piece in here between these two. And then these two. So that is going to be our order. Let me gather it up here. And I'm going to grab my old phone that I keep in my studio because I use it to play music because I don't get very good Wi-Fi. I'm hardwired up here, so all right, let's put this in place. Oh, I was going to put, never mind. I'm going to put stitches down it. I was going to sew this. And I might stitch around a couple of these pages too while I'm at it. Okay, so we'll just paper clip it together. I need a paper clip. That's not a paper clip. There we go. There we go. We'll put that there. But I'm going to take a picture of this so that way when I go to put it together, I remember how I had it laid out. And we can actually just kind of take a look at it and see if we like it that way. If there's anything we feel that needs to be switched around. Like I feel like this needs to be broken up a little bit better. But I don't know exactly how. Maybe we switch out this one for this one. Yeah, I like that much better. We'll put that there. I feel like we need something right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Plus the front and the back. What say ye? What shall we do? What shall we do? The other thing we need to think of that I just thought of is we need to make sure the back, oh yeah, this is going to be fine. Unless I flip this over and it's totally horrendous. Nope, it's fine. Because I want one side to be more like a journaling space and one side to be more of like you can glue down things too. And then I think I'm just going to go with it. I think we need one more square. I think we do. I think, what is this? Let's make this into one. It's heavy enough. How would that look between these two? Yeah. I like that. Okay. See? Problem solved. So we needed 10 tags. I'll write that down so I don't forget. And then we're going to run through and do the tags. Let's put a rubber binder around these. Are they, is it going to fit? Nope. I don't want to, because that one page is still kind of sticky, so I don't want to clamp them together. All right, let's bring out Fanny. And we're going to cut her down. We're going to trim this edge. There we go. And so this is 4 1/4 by 7 1/2 is the size of the tag. Four and a quarter. Oh, we still have a little strip that we can use for something if we choose to do so. And let's do 7 1/2. There we go. Still have a little scrap too. Okay. Put Fanny away. And that's my phone that I was talking about, telling me it's time for lunch. But not just yet. Not just yet. Okay. Let's take this, line it up. And we'll just take our scissors and very carefully there we go. There we go. This is cardstock, so it can go in the bin for paper. And let's get our green dauber and our other green ink. We've got this fern green Ranger Archival. I don't use it a lot, but I do love the color. I need to start using it more. And I just want to get it so the manila color doesn't shine through as much. What if we put a belly band on this one too, on this side? Okay. Set that there, put that away. What if we take, now I've got the hiccups again. What if we do, I got the perfect paper, because it's green and green. We don't see that paper again for a minute. hang on, maybe I have a better one that's, oh, here's the white one. We didn't actually use this white one, so it's a new color. Yeah, let's do that. I have the white one somewhere. We could put it in, but I like this green better because we already have the black version of it, and I think the white version of it will help the other colors pop too. So yeah, we need to cut this. I'm going to cut it in half this way. No, I want the green. So we're going to take and make this 4 1/4. And then we're going to cut it down a little bit down this way too. So we'll make this 4 1/4. Wait, it already is 4 1/4. This 4 1/4. There we go. And then cut this edge off at 3 3/4. Make a little notch. Do a little dance. And then, where's Vicini? There's Vicini. Vicini! I'm doing medium curves on this one because I don't want too much. Probably should measure this before I go through and do all this, right? Make sure I have it cut right, but I'm pretty sure I do. Actually, we need to cut it down just a hair more. Just like a 1/16 of an inch, maybe. Actually, there we go. That'll work. That's okay. Sometimes I don't think of those logistic-y things. There we go. Perfect. Now, what color? We're going to ink it in green. First, and if you're looking for archival inks from Ranger, you can get them at the Painted Raven. Link in the description, and there's a coupon code for y'all. Because sharing is caring. Yeah, I like the green. And then we're going to take black and just edge it. I might do the same thing with this green, just so they kind of go together better. So now we need to make 11 tags. Oops, that's okay. Let's do this way too. That's why this dauber is falling apart, is because I do so much edging with it. I haven't found, I was gonna try, I have some sticky felt, and I was gonna try and put some felt on one of these new daubers. And see if the felt works better to just do the edges. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, see, that looks so much better to me in my brain. It looks polished. Okay. Again, I forgot to put the thing in there. Hang on one second. Okay. Oh yeah. Allergies suck. Someday I'll get over it though. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of smooch that corner down because I got it kind of heavy. Same with that corner. All right. Now, I'm going to put it as close to the bottom as we can. There we go. And there we go. Oops. I like that. I like it, I do. Okay. So now, I'm going to lay these out. I'm going to grab my old phone and I'm going to take a picture. We have two. No, I didn't think so. There we go. Let's put the pen back in here. All right, grabbing my phone. Pushing the wrong buttons. Nope. Nope. Camera. There we go. Can you tell it's been in my studio? This is the reason why it's my old camera, because I cracked the case. There we go. Now we have a picture for reference. So when we forget, because I will. All right, so we need 11, but we need, let's write this down again. So we need 11, but we need 1, 2, 3, 3 short ones. Okay. And then let's take one of these and see. Okay, so this one might fit in here. Yes, it does. How do we like that? But we need to make it a little bit shorter because, but I don't want to use that one because I don't want to cut that off. I like that. So I think maybe, let me grab my ruler here. I think maybe if we stick to 5 or smaller, because we want that for here too. Maybe we can go, yeah, let's just stick to 5 or smaller. That way we can just make them all 5. No, I don't want to make them all 5. Well, no bigger than 5 1/4. Okay. And then we can have one for this. Well, we got this pocket that we can make a little bit bigger, and that one a little bit bigger. But all the rest of these pockets are going to be, so 5. Let's focus on 5. And then probably 3 or smaller. So 5 1/4. I'm writing this down. And then 3 and maybe like 1/8. Okay. So excited. So let's see. Let's see these. Let's see what we got for. Let's not use these ones because we use these ones for the pocket. And the belly band, and they're kind of sticking together because I got happy with the paint splatters, which is fine. Okay, so these ones can go in that pile. So do we have 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, cool. Because some of these will cut down just in half, and then I might just take and cut this edge off a little bit. So let's get Fanny, because she's the best cutter of the bunch. And cut this down to 5. Actually, yeah, 5. And then we said 3. So move that down a hair. And then we're going to round. Well, where's Vicini? There he is. Well, he doesn't want to go. There we go. There we go. And then we got a little lift right here. So we're going to take our Barely Art glue, because this has a finer tip than that one, and I can be more precise. There we go. Get that lift glued down. So that one's going to go here. And then we need one for here. So let's make this three. And there we go. We're going to do a large round here. And I'm going to grab a tab, my bin of tabs. Give me a moment. I think they're down here. I should have them down here. Yep. So, got all these tabs. So let's put a tab on it. Let's grab our Hero Arts Aquatic, because we've got this kind of tealy color here. No. That's oxide. We'll use this one. Oh, this was oxide too. Oh well, that's okay. It'll all come out in the wash. And we'll take this. We'll just tidy it up a bit. I just re-inked that too, so. All right, and then we're gonna take our little script stamp that I got here and some black and print some script on there, and we need accent colors, so grab the mulberry. Which is a beautiful kind of reddish pink. And, well, that was upside down. That's okay. Let's do the rest of it here. There we go. Okay. And then we'll put the tab. Oh, we're going to ink the edges. Boop, 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 boop. Now I have these tabs on my Ko-Fi page. They are free. They're just blank, so you can use it as the opposite side of your collage, like I did here. And then you have collaged tags. And I'm just gonna put that down, give it a squeeze, put some more glue down. Okay, it's being hinky. Get our pin in it. Come on, work with me. There you go. There we go. So this can go in here, like that. Oh, for Pete's sake. There we go. Might have to glue that down better. All right, let's take all these little bits and put them up here. That way we have a clean area. That's a page. Now we need a pocket. Let's do this one. Let's cut it at put this away. I'll cut this at 2 3/4. Actually, let's do 3 1/8. Three and 3/4. There is a book on my desk. Let's see. Let's put this in here. Yeah, we need to trim off the top, but we can come to here. Actually, we can leave it here. Let's just trim off the top. Let's trim it right here and see what it looks like. Okay. just gonna cut it while it's in the pocket. Maybe. Let's see where we want it. Opa. So there we go. That should fit in there. Just like that. Stick out just a little bit. All right, now we're going to get our envelope board. Hopefully I remember how to do this. Because if I remember correctly, if you line it up right here, perfect. And then right there, there, beautiful. Down on the bin, and then we're going to ink it in brown. It's lifting a little bit there, so we're going to get the art glitter glue, or the Barely Art glue out. And we're going to put a little glue underneath. There we go. Beautiful. We're going to round the bottom corners with the small. Okay, there's that one. Now I'm going to get some different ones out of my, let's move this out of the way for a moment. Excuse me. I'm going to grab, this is my ephemera bin. Give me one moment. So we're going to grab that one and this one. And that one. Let's grab a plain one. Let's do this green one. Let's do a tag like that. Those are all pockets, 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 pockets. That would make it be kind of fun. We'll set that over there. Okay, let's see where we're at now. Let's ink this. Let's ink this in green first. we'll go around it with black. And black. Can't leave the plain ones plain. We gotta do something with them. There we go. We'll go right here. And then we're gonna round the corners on this, on the small. And he'll go right here. Maybe we'll put this one. Will it fit in here? Yeah, I like that. Like that. Actually, I wonder. No, that didn't work. Did not work the way I thought it would. There we go. Kind of blunt the ends a little bit. There. Okay, and then I'll use this, punch a bigger hole. These were, I've been experimenting with cutting tags on the silhouette. Well, that didn't punch real perfect, but that's okay. Let's bring out the blue. Where's my blue dauber? There it is. Oh, we need to round the corners on this one. Go. That'll go here maybe. It might be a little tall. Yeah, I think it's going to be a little tall. Let's take Fanny and cut off a little bit. Re-round the corners. Re-ink the edge. It's okay, I didn't like the bottom anyway. And that, my friends, is where we're going to put that. So we got a tag in each one of those pockets. And that one doesn't have one. And then let's take this one. Okay, let's tidy this up again. We're getting spread out again. Story of my life. I don't know where the brown led. There it is. I'm going to put the brown over here because that's the one we usually go for. This is coffee. So we need to trim this one down. I think I'm going to trim it right here. Like that. And then we're just going to run the corners and ink this up. Oops. There we go. Brown. There we go. Where is oh, this should fit both ways. Just gonna leave it in there like that. And we're gonna take this one. And we're gonna lift that up. Okay. Oh, I don't like that one. Don't like that one. Yeah, let's use this one. Maybe. Once I find one I like better. Oh, I like this one better. Let's see if it'll fold nicely. Yep. I like that. Just as it is, I'm going to ink it up a little bit. Let's get this down a little bit better. There we go. use the art glitter glue this time so he doesn't get, because I notice sometimes I feel like they're not like inanimate objects sometimes I think they get an attitude. All right, that there, put a little glue here, fold it in half. There we go. And put that in here. There we go. And now this should be dry enough for us to put our belly band down. Oh, I was going to stitch this. I keep forgetting. Okay. What color? Oh, I've got perfect color in there too. All right. I keep forgetting I was going to stitch down the middle of it. It's like, geez. It's a nice navy blue that's in here. And there's kind of a greenish for the bobbin. So let's do a straight stitch. Yeah, I got an idea. So let's just kind of sew around the edge. And I will get a camera for this sewing machine, but I just don't have it yet. There we go. There we go. There, I just kind of did a straight stitch. And it's crooked and goofy, just like me. Well, I'm not crooked, but I'm goofy. Okay. Is this going to be wide enough for paper tape? It is, it is. Good deal. I like to put paper tape on the back side. So, give me my tape back, please. It just makes it so things slide in and out easier. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to hang you out right there. We're going to bring out the glue stick again, which means the glue mat again. I'll pull the strings off to the side. And we're just going to cover this in glue stick. Like so. And then we'll take the tape and lay it down. Well, maybe. There we go. And I just put the glue stick down because I don't trust the adhesive on the paper tape. Now, flip this over so we know we're not gluey. And we'll grab our brayer. If you don't have a brayer, you can definitely use a rag. I just want to make sure this gets really sticky down. So you can take an old baby wipe, whatever you got, These strings are gonna be the death of me. There we go. And just make sure that it's stuck down really well. Listen here, sir. There you go. It wants to join the glue party. And that just makes it so your pieces of ephemera can slide in and out easier. And it keeps the stitching in place too. So I'm just going to take my little sanding. And it reinforces it too. It kind of does a little bit of everything. It's the Jane of all trades, right? There we go. And look at this side. There we go. Now, let's hit it with the ink just to make sure we got it all. And the other reason why I like this Tombow is it dries very, very firm. Like rock candy firm. Put that there for now. And let's put that down there. So I do about the first thumb width, just so it's nice and anchored down. And then I'm just going to tap it so it doesn't smooge so much, because sometimes it comes out really fast and then it like mellows out. All right, now I'm going to line this up with the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to take one of these, clamp it there. And then clamp it there. There we go. We'll let that dry for a minute. Oh. Hold on. We got a bubble. There we go. Okay, that's done. Now, cut this one down. Actually, let's get we have one that's slightly shorter. No, how about this one? Yes. Still not short enough. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna cut it off just a smidge. There we go. There we go. Make sure it fits. There we go. And we're going to take one of these lavenders. Lay it down. I'm going to use blue ink this time. For this side. And then we'll grab the ink, the green ink. I'm going to blot that off. There we go. Thirteen's always my number. There we go. Guess I got the red. Guess I got the Z in there too. That's okay. And then we're going to take the purple. There we go. Now we're going to do black around this one. Okay. Okay. Let's take the clamps off of this. Should be dry and laying flat. And then we're going to take we don't have any decal edges, so we're going to make some decal edges. Excuse me. All right, let me get a drink of water real quick. There's a fur ball in my throat right now. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down a little bit. There we go. Ink the edges. Some brown. This would be a nice little journaling spot. There we go. What do we got left? Got this guy goes right here, like that. He might need to be shortened a little bit once we figure out where the holes are going to be punched, but for now he's good. And then we got that one, and then we got this pocket, which we're just going to slide this one in like this, just like that. And we'll actually put some, I'm going to put some danglies and stuff on these, but that's going to be the last day after we've built it. So we've got all our ephemera made. For the most part, like I said, I'm going to come back and put some different things in there. So because this isn't like a normal journal, one of the things that I'll do, and I'll do it off camera because no one wants to sit and watch me punch holes and then punch holes in the holes, and yeah, is we need to make spacers to go in between each one of these. So why are these not lining up like they're supposed to? Oh, that's why, because there we go. So that's what the signature will look like. And then, why is this still not? Oh, that's why. Let's do this, because otherwise it's going to drive me bananas. Let's put this inside here like that. Make it a secret little flag. There we go. And that. Okay. So it's going to have a hole here, and then these will slide around like this. But we want to, I'm pinching this so it's not sliding really nicely. And then you just slide to the page you want to work on, flip the rest of it up. There's your workspace. So we need to have spacers. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you one, and then you can be set free. I won't make you watch that. I need to grab. Hang on one second. Let me grab a piece. Of, well, crikeys. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. So this is chipboard. Boom. And it's from a coffee dyed tablet or notebook that I just kind of dipped in the coffee dye so it could kind of seep up. And then I remembered, oh, hey, I should probably take this off first. So we're going to take, and I don't know how we're going to do it exactly, because I really like this 1.5 inch hole. So we're going to take this guy, and punch ourselves a hole, or punch ourselves a circle. And I like this one because I can really punch on it. And then it fell on the floor. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, where'd my hole punch go? There he is. He wasn't in his space. And then I'm going to take this guy. And I was thinking, what if we make him a little big like this? Right? And then this will go on the back side here. But what if we punch the spacer holes, like, so we have one here, and then one behind it, and then one over here. So it kind of looks like scales at the top. We could do that. Because I'm not exactly, I mean, that's pretty good for me. And then we can just stain these, you know, with a little bit of ink. Maybe even hit them with, oh man, I did it again. I grabbed the wrong cover. It's all right. So we just stain it, and then we can take where did my rubbing alcohol go? There it is. And that helps blend it out. We could even hit it with some super glue or matte medium, not matte medium, collage medium, and that'll give it a little bit more slip, so it's not paper against paper. There we go. So it started off as chipboard, and now you have something else. It's still chipboard, but it's not chipboard color. So let's grab, I think those might actually be big enough where it won't poke out the top, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to grab the top piece. We'll line this up. So it may stick out a little bit. And then this will go behind it. Oh, I don't want to do that because that's alcohol ink and this is still damp from alcohol. Let's grab one that won't get all wonky. There we go. So that will go in there. And I think I'm going to need a longer screw. So that will go like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm pretty sure. So that's what I'm going to do. We're also going to put the crackle, I'm going to put the crackle paste on here and on her and let it dry overnight. So, but it's lunchtime. I'm hungry. It's a little bit past lunchtime normally for me. So tomorrow we will be assembling, doing the final touches to the cover and the back, and then letting that dry. We'll probably hit it with a hairdryer, and then we'll assemble all of this together. And yes, I'm definitely going to need a longer screw because the little screw I have is not going to work. So we'll get a bigger screw in the assemblage that I have. Because no, I didn't bring it down yet because I haven't spray painted yet today or this week. So this, yeah, we're going to need a longer screw. Although, nope, just a smidge longer. So this is going to go in here like this. We could actually put washers, like actual metal washers between them. So that's going to go there. These are going to be spray painted, so they're not going to be silver. They're not going to look like that. And then this go through there, and then we'll have them go through all the holes and all the things. And then the Chicago screw back will go on the, actually, maybe we'll put the Chicago screw on the front. Yeah, we'll probably put the Chicago screw on the front. And then this screw on the back. But either way, you get the idea. Oh, these are, well, how do you like those donuts? It'll line right up. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, see? And then it'll all line up. Cool. I'm going to see if I can find a bigger screw. But I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go get some lunch. And then I'll come back up here and go on a quest for a bigger screw. And then we'll bring them back downstairs and we'll, I could alcohol ink them and then clear coat it. That would work. We'll see. But tomorrow we're going to put it all together. And I'm going to need your opinion on how you think, should we have them on both sides or should we have a straight side like a regular book? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, because you need to sand this down so it'll slide nicely. So I'll do that too. I'll do a few things off camera because I can't do everything on camera because I gotta wait for this to dry so I can sand it. All right, cool beans. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate you. Remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.